Hey guys.
How you doing?
Good, you?
Nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. It's been a while.
How's the spring been going for you so far?
It's been going great. It's been kind of a weird transition, but Coach Nuss has done a great job of taking the young guys and taking Austin and I and incorporating us and what he's trying to do in the offense, and we're working as hard as we can to execute the game plan and getting better every day, and that's all we can ask for.
What was it like for you last year when there was a lot of buzz about you when you first got here through workouts and stuff, and how well you were practicing, but yet couldn't really go out and showcase it?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure you heard the noise outside.
yeah, I mean, every situation's different. I thought Will did a great job last year. He got better every single game. Sharon did a good job of filling in. It's kind of weird. I got here in Summer B and was just thrown into it, and the guys welcomed me with open arms, and I actually played against a couple of them in high school.
Yeah.
So I had a couple of friends when I got here, but it was a fun time.
Yeah,
Could
Bob
you
told us about that.
Yeah.
Could you talk about how you ended up here, Luke?
Yeah, it was. Didn't ever think I'd go to Florida when I lived in Jacksonville, but
Why is that?
we were so close. My dad went to USC. My sisters went to LSU. We were never really Florida fans. We were just different teams. So, it was kind of a journey to get here. When I decided it was for my best interest to leave Oregon State, I made a couple calls, and Coach Nuss said he was going to be here, and I knew Coach Mack. He recruited me at Colorado State and at Alabama, and I knew they were going to run this offense, so I felt really comfortable coming here.
How comfortable are you in this offense? How good do you fit it?
Well, it's very similar to the one at Alabama when I was there. So, there's some comfortability there.
Did McElwain give you your first offer when he was at Colorado State?
Yeah, it was my first offer. Yeah, it was May 1st. It was my first offer. Went up to Colorado Springs, Fort Collins, and offered me.
How nice is it being in the same system 2 years in a row? Because that's been a while for you.
Yeah, it's always nice. The longer you're in a system, the more comfortable you are. The timing of the plays, it just that's what playing the position and football is all about. Is you're comfortable and confident in what you're doing, and I've been fortunate to be in this offense for a year or two, and I'm getting more and more comfortable every day.
How would you just describe it? Like, what your role is in it? I mean, just kind of tell us. You said it's like Alabama's, but explain.
As far as the quarterbacks, okay. It's as you saw. Greg McElroy run it, Adrian McCarron run it. When they got here, you have so many offensive weapons here. So we try to utilize them as best as we can. So it's a little bit different than the one at Alabama's. They have their own style and we have ours, but you're definitely asked to take care of the ball and get first downs and put points on the board.
Coach Mack says you have a leg up because of your experience in the offense. What do you need to do to stay ahead of the competition this spring?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an open competition. We're all competing for the job. We're all doing everything that we can do in our power to earn the starting job. I've been here, but that doesn't. I don't think that makes me above or number one right now. I have to earn it. So.
How do you approach the quarterback position? We've heard a lot about your leadership, about your kind of gym rat mentality, your film study.
Yeah, well, I grew up around the game. Dad is in the NFL, playing in the NFL, he coaches in the NFL. So I've been around the game a lot. So I've just kind of observed growing up, doing the best I can to pick people's brains, and I just try to kind of mimic. The guys are in the NFL; they're there for a reason. So they obviously know what they're doing. So I just try to pick some things there.
What are your memories of your dad's playing career?
I was born after a Minnesota Vikings game. I actually got the game ball. It's pretty cool. They won. He was in Minnesota, made the Pro Bowl that year. Then went to Miami and got cut by Jimmy Johnson, but he probably doesn't want to talk about that. I don't really remember any because he was done playing before I could remember.
But what is the main thing as a coach's son you've kind of gleaned? I mean, you mentioned a little earlier, but what's kind of the main takeaway, like the proverbial coach's son? Yeah,
I've been very fortunate to be around great players and great coaches, and really just be around the game. Whether you're a coach's son in college, high school, pro, you're around the game, you're around ball all the time, and so I think it's advantageous to be able to pick somebody in your family's brain, but everybody here knows football, or else they wouldn't be here.
When did you first go?
Sorry, where is that game ball? Do you still have it?
Yeah, it's at my parents' house. Yeah.
When did you first meet McElwain? How far?
I was in 10th grade. I went to Alabama's camp, and I thought it was going to be like a regular camp, and it's very similar to ours. They put you to work, and I love the way that he coached quarterbacks. He knows how to communicate with them. He knows how to coach them. Knows when to get on them, and I really liked that sort of connection that we made, and we continued it on from there.
How tempted were you how close did you come, I guess, to going to Colorado State? And now that you're here with him and Nuss, did Mac ever give you crap for, going to walk on?
No, I mean, he understood it. I'm a competitor. I wanted to play with, the best of the best, and I played my senior year in Colorado, and I enjoyed it, but I was ready for something new.
And then Nussmar said that you guys go back even further, that he remembers you from when you were like a kid.
Yeah. Well, he played with Peyton Manning, so kind of shows, sort of where he was at in experience, and obviously you get to play quarterback next to Peyton Manning. It's a pretty great opportunity, but I don't really remember sort of. Because when he was playing, it was kind of like when my dad first started coaching. I was very young.
You don't remember Nelson Yellen?
That's seared back there. So.
You said being here for a year, you don't feel like that's giving you an advantage, but does it help that you have the background that you do with not only McElwain but Nussmar as well?
I think it's more of I know the guys. I know my teammates. I know how they run routes, stuff like that. But as far as actual playing, I haven't taken any reps here, so it's a little bit different. Austin's played a lot, played at Purdue, started a lot of games, so then we have two young guys. So
Continue, sorry.
no, that was it.
Well, Jake McGee, we talked to you yesterday, and you said you went about your business real quietly in the background last year. Did you make a conscious effort just to kind of keep growing, learning, and staying out of the way?
Yeah. It was kind of an awkward situation in the sense that all I could do was focus on helping the defense get better on scout team. It's a pretty good defense to go against. You guys see a lot of those guys playing in the NFL. But yeah, I really just tried to focus on what I could do because they show you a card, you got to throw it to a guy. So all I could do was focus on footwork and accuracy and being the best teammate I could. You don't want to transfer quarterback who's on the scout team, trying to be the outspoken leader when he can't play that year.
Well, this year, though, once you had the chance, how much were you chomping at the bit to kind of take over as the leader?
I was very excited for the opportunity, to compete and try to earn the starting job. But it's still an open competition, and we'll see how it goes.
What's your impression of the two freshmen?
Oh, they're very, very arm talented. I mean, they're obviously really big guys. Kyle had a really unique situation in high school, and he took full advantage of it. And he can spin the ball. And Felipe, you can tell why he was so highly rated. He's mobile, he's big, he's got a cannon of an arm. They're learning and they're doing a really good job.
What's the best thing you bring to this offense?
I mean, I've been in it for a few years. Like I said, I haven't played here, but I do have experience running some of the plays. And as far as making protection changes with the offensive line and understanding adjustments of the routes. It's more of knowledge of the offense, if anything.
You said it's been a journey getting here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been what would you say to someone third school for you?
Yeah.
And obviously you're planning on sticking around here, but what would you say to someone who's seen all the movement and wonders,
Yeah. Well,
you know what I'm
saying? They see, that's your third school. They're like, what happened there? So, it was a very unique situation. If anybody told me you'd go to 3 colleges, I'd probably tell them they were crazy when I was a freshman. But it is what it is. Everything happens for a reason, and I'm really, really happy to be here now.
But with McElwain offering you your first scholarship and then you choosing to go work with Nuss, it almost seems like it's just kind of like meant for you to be here. But
Yeah.
for those guys.
Yeah, it worked out. Like I said, everything must be meant to be because, I've played with Nuss and, I've been around Mac a lot, and I'm really happy that they're on, the team that I'm on.
What was it like having your dad out here today?
It was great. It's always good to see him. I get to see him over Easter. We're gonna celebrate his birthday. It's early April. I won't get to see him on his birthday, but we're gonna celebrate.
Nervous at all with him watching you?
No. He's seen me play a lot. It's kind of switch roles. Usually I watch him coach, but it's kind of fun to watch him, to let him watch me play, because then he'll have some notes and
Is he a tough critic?
Not as much as you would think.
Were you bummed that Garrett left for another job this offseason?
Yeah, I really liked Coach Garrett. We had a pretty good relationship. Very smart, one of the smartest coaches I've ever been around. And I know the guys absolutely loved him. His detail with route running and protections, and he's the tight ends coach for the Dallas Cowboys. So Jason Witten is going to be a future Hall of Famer. So sad to see him go, but I'm happy for him.
Is all set?
Yeah.
Any
Thanks,
significance
Luke.
to